Hello, I'm here to bring you my deck profile on my Shinsengumi deck. Now that Bali fight is kind of dead, I don't really see much of a point if you want to get into the game, spending a lot of money on a very expensive deck. So here's a very much playable deck that's very affordable. First monster you're going to play is kind of boss monster from the latest support, your condo, which gives your team its offense, defense, and basically your counter call engine. Next monster is your Yamanami. He allows you to charge and draw, so more draw engine. Or actually it's just a draw engine for your deck, and it also provides anti-no, which is great. Then you have four of your boss monsters. Not really boss monsters, more of your buddies. LKOT Rebirth. It's a great monster because when it reduces all gauge cost by 1. So things like this, your boss monster is only 1 gauge, which is very very cheap for how good of a monster it is. And every time it attacks and destroys a monster, you check top 2, 1 to hand, 1 to gauge. So it's technically a charge and draw, but it's better because you get to decide what you want to add to hand. So you'll never have a case where something you really want go to your gauge, and then something you don't want to go to your hand. You get to choose what you want. Next card is Hijikata. Very vital monster. Your anti-destruction, die return, base skill, and then if he's on the field along with him, he provides your team with anti-rest and penetrate, because as you can see, this gives your field 1 crit and double attack, but none of your monsters have penetrate. So to give them penetrate just gives them a whole nother level of offensive power. And then when he enters the field, you get to search one of your main spells, Training of Wolf Mibu, which I'll get to later. Okay, next monster. Kind of advantage engine, more of a tutor rather. Dragon Knight Glinter. Drop this from your hand, pay a gauge, check top 3, call a Dragon Knight, put a Dragon Knight from among them into your hand, and drop the rest. So if you have things like LKOT on your field, or let's say you have a decent field setup and you have the gauge, this is great because no matter what monster on top 3, you can have the option to put any Dragon Knight that appears among them, so any of your spells into your hand, and then call any Dragon Knight. So you can call this, and if LKOT on your field, that's just another free call. And then if you get to put something to your hand, this does not decrease your hand size in any way. So yeah. Next monster, Dragon Knight Son of Skate. Monster skill allows you to search your deck for a Shinsengumi, which basically helps you tutor up any monster you need from your deck to help with your engine, mainly a boss monster. Next, Dragon Knight Maximilian. Simple, call him, drop a hand card, draw 2. Very good draw engine when you go lost or even in Dragon mode. For Training of Wolf Mibu skill, you get to charge a gauge, gain a life for each Dragon Knight on your field, or return a Dragon Knight from your drop to hand, or a Dragon Knight on your field for this turn. When he attacks alone, your opponent cannot counter. So either you can play this on offensive or for resources when you need gauge in the early game. Or to go lost, your additional attacks, and if they end your attack phase, and if you have your item or LKOT on the field, when he sends them, you basically get your resources you waste on him back. Next, Dragon Bind attack. Basically a free spell since you draw another card back. and then his skill, if cards on your field link attack on your opponent monster, you can't counter. Which is strong because in most scenarios, your opponent would have a monster in their center. So you just set up your board state, link on their center, they can't shield, they can't counter or anything. If they have if they didn't do anything in advance, yeah, they're dead. Next spell, Buddy Grandes. There's so many Dragon Knights on your field, so your deck. So if you choose Buddy Grandes, if you choose Dragon Knight, pay a gauge, you most likely check top 5 and just put a card from among them into your hand. Loud Voice. You draw so much in this deck. You have so many draw engines due to your LKOT and item that your hand size just keeps increasing very easily. And so your Loud Voice can really help you save. Can really save you in the early in the game. Sky Dragon Divinity, great spell in the early game. Because if in the early game, let's say while you're just setting up your board, accidentally a very vital spell, let's say a few of your Meeboos get wasted in drop, or your Lost Soul goes drop. This helps you recycle that back to deck before it gets wasted in drop. Dragonic Exchange. Well, this helps you with something that might be lost in drop. This helps you with something that might be lost in gauge. So again, back to LKOT. Check top 2, 1 to 1 to gauge. Let's say both are really good and you put 1 to gauge, and you have this in hand, you can safely add it in gauge and know you in the next turn you'll be able to get it back. Next, 3 Body Block. Defensive spell. Very great since on the 4th attack you can't take damage from attacks anymore, which your condo has 2 souls. So you call your condo, it will have 2 souls in its soul. It will be destroyed thrice, and on the 4th attack, when there's nothing covering your center, your Body Block will save you from there on. And then yeah, you're basically defended for the rest of the turn. Next, Grace. While Body Block saves you from the attacks, this saves you from the penetrate, because before the 4th attack, most of your opponent monsters will of course have penetrate to penetrate the center monster. So yeah, this is a great spell to apart from that. Loyalty. The deck just has space to run Loyalty and it works fine. Yeah, so never really hurts to play Loyalty. Helps to control your opponent a lot, especially if you time it well in the early game setup stage. Yeah. Then you also play Recovery Veil, another option to your training of Wolf Meeboo. If you because in the late game you always want to go lost, since with this deck you deck out very quickly and your main objective is to go lost to yeah, cycle the deck. And your draw engine works very well in Lost too. So yeah, this helps you go lost, and this also helps you survive high crit FTK, because if the crit is very high, you Body Block, there's no point, you still die from that. So Recovery Veil will reduce all the way to 0, and yeah, you're gonna survive that attack. Atlas Hyperion. Skill is very great. because it's another piece of offense on your field. He has base penetrate, so if no Hijikata is on your field, this is a great starting monster to attack your opponent with, since none of your monsters have penetrate. And then when your opponent's center is gone, you can attack them straight with the monsters. And like Hijikata, it's a charge and draw, which is not as good as LKOT's skill, cause you don't get to choose between them. However, to make up for that, you also gain a life. Then you also play your impact. It's great impact for first turn, cause you pay 2 gauge to draw 3. With this deck, gauge is not a problem for you, and you always won't mind drawing more cards in the deck. And of course, since you draw so many cards, you would need Lost World to help you survive. Basically, how the deck is usually played is you set up your board state, set up your drop with your draw monsters, either Maximilian or Yamanami. Put a few of your draw monsters in hand or a few of your draw spells. Get ready, defend the turn, go lost, farm lost, and yeah, go from there. Now you show a demonstration of the deck. For Lost Hope, you can play any build with it. It's just cause draw power just farms into it, and then you can go from there. Okay, now I'm gonna try something new I've never tried before, which is showing how a deck would usually be played. What if I were to play the deck? Okay. So yeah, the deck may break since it's first time shuffling after sorting it out. So yeah, don't take this deck as inconsistent. This deck is actually very consistent if you shuffle it and play with it and know how to play with it. So yeah, first we're gonna draw 6 cards and then charge 2. Okay, flag and belly. Okay, yeah, right, draw. It's the early game, so you don't need your final phase standard since you're only gonna attack once. And draw. Okay, LKOT is a great card here because it's gonna save you so much gauge. Call LKOT Rebirth, body call, and then you would call Sanosuke to the left, pay a gauge since gauge cost is reduced by 1, and then search your main monster, Kondo. And then call Kondo from hand. I would always like to get a full board state of different Dragon Knights and Kondo on field first before I try farming, because this deck is very susceptible to loyalty. If they loyalty you before you get Kondo on the field, you have no form of defense, no form of offense, and yeah, you are very much dead. Okay, now if they don't loyalty you on third call, you can go to your farm, Hijikata. Okay, actually, if you're greedy, wouldn't do that. First I'll call Yamanami first for the charge and draw. Yeah, charge and draw. Okay, then after that I would call the Hijikata. Now search for the Mibu. And then use buddy skill, pay a life. Or I mean your main monster's skill, pay a life, call it back, charge and draw. Oh, draw into another one. skill, charge and draw. See how gauge is not a problem here. Dragon Knight Glinter. Top 3. Dragon Knight to hand. Call Dragon Knight and drop the red. So that's it. Very effective card. Then when enter field, search Amiibo. Put it in hand. Okay. There's nothing. Which means all your Amiibos either in hand, drop a gate. Okay. Okay. Then just call Maximilian. Drop Loud Voice. Then draw 2. Call Yamanami in. Skill charge draw. Okay, here you usually have nothing more to farm. After that, Stubble Face, skill, draw 1. Attack with El Quixote, skill, check top 2. 1 turn, 1 to gauge. Then from here, on your opponent turn, first Spell Face, you draw a card. Okay, actually, usually you would call before that. Maximilian, enter field, skill, drop a hand card, draw 2. Okay, now you have your loyalty, control them, your body block to survive, your Amiibos to gain life to survive. After that, go loss, draw loss. Yeah, basically very simple then.